Welcome to Gold Derby. I'm senior editor Denton Davidson here with Joe Bastianich, formerly known as Spaghetti and Meatballs on The Masked Singer on Fox. Joe, you can sing. I know music isn't something new for you, but people know you as this businessman with many restaurants around the world, and of course, your role as a judge on MasterChef. What made you want to do The Masked Singer?
When you ask a singer to sing, they say yes, right? So I'm a singer-songwriter. I do it, I have a band. I'm going on tour this summer. So it's something that I do when a big stage like MasterChef to spread the word of music, which is, complicated these days. So it was a challenge, but I accepted it and it was an incredible experience.
When did that, passion for music start for you? At what age and who were your sort of idols growing up? What artists did you look up to?
Well, I mean, like, look, I grew up in the 70s in Queens, New York. In the 70s, it was all about album rock. We grew up with the Stones, the Who, Zeppelin, the Beatles, the Kinks, and then Bob Dylan and Neil Young and Bruce Springsteen and the American singer-songwriter. So a little bit of classic rock, album rock is what I do. Now, in my own way, I perform now as more bluegrass, country, folk, but that's the upbringing of my generation.
Was that your original dream? Did you want to be a rock star?
I still do.
So that's
Is it
still the
too?
dream. Despite all the success, that's your number one dream in life.
It is, and I still think I can do it. So I keep on writing the songs, keep on getting out there and playing them, and maybe not a rock star, maybe in the theaters, or I'll find my way. I have one of those things that usually what I can accomplish what I set out to do in life, and that's no small ambition, but we'll see what happens.
I love that. Throughout the seasons, contestants have been pretty hit or miss in terms of quality. I mean, it's always entertaining, but let's be honest, there's been bad singers on the show. There were no weak links in your group. So what was it like to be part of it and hear them? Could you hear them from backstage, or was there too much going on?
You didn't hear very much. You certainly didn't see them. So the first time I got to kind of digest the performances was last night. And you're right. I mean, especially the first two ladies are some real singers, somewhat people who have sung before. You can tell that. The Lizard, I'm not so sure. Maybe he sings in a different kind of way, shall we say, a more reptilian kind of way. But the quality, I think, was super high all around. So, intently, like when you take something like this personally and seriously, you're sizing yourself up against the competition for sure.
And you are competitive. So how upset were you to be the first one voted out of Group C?
You had to bring it up. Of all the interviews I did today, you're the first one that had to say that I was the first one eliminated. That is fact correct. I was the first one eliminated. It sucked. I wanted to win. Of course, it sucked. But I was proud watching it on TV last night with my kids. I was proud of the performance. I probably took a more direct route of interpreting Billy Joel to sing it as he would sing it, a few note tones lower. But that was my strategy, so I stuck with it.
Were you excited it was Billy Joel night? Like, is that something you consider in your wheelhouse?
Totally. I mean, I grew up in Queens, in New York, in the 70s and the 80s, so Billy Joel was definitely the soundtrack of New York and our lives, of people of my generation. I happen to know Billy Joel as a customer of the restaurant, so I can't wait to hear what he thinks of it. And I knew the songs, which is always a big advantage.
And how did you go about choosing the song choice? Is that something they presented to you? Do you get a list? What?
Yeah, you kind of work through them, sing them out a little bit, see which ones fit for what they need and what comes to you better. They're very accommodating.
So the costume, spaghetti and meatballs, couldn't have been more perfect for an Italian with a bunch of restaurants. So is that something they came to you with, or how did you work through that? And what were your first thoughts when you saw the costume?
When I first put the costume on my head, it was like 20 pounds of al dente spaghetti, not easy to sing through, to carry around and dance on. I wanted to be a slice of pizza because I've been a slice of pizza before in MasterChef, and that worked for me. But the logistics were compromised, so it's always a negotiation with the Masked Singer people. They have your best intentions in mind, so they want you to do the best you can.
And the panelists had some interesting guesses before you unmasked. They thought you were Stanley Tucci, Guy Fieri, Bobby Flay, or your pal Gordon Ramsay. What were your thoughts about those guesses?
I think given the food, putting me in a food chef category, it was pretty logical. You know, I don't even know what other Italian you would put in that because it was very much Italian. None of those guys. Well, Fieri's kind of Italian. I thought there were logical guesses. I think that you know, it's they keep it under wraps, so they don't have much to go on.
And I'm gonna go on a limb and say you could outsing Gordon Ramsay. Have you heard him crooning around the kitchen before?
No, no one would want to hear Gordon Ramsay sing. No one.
You've recorded music people can listen to. It's streaming. And this is really helping people become more aware of that. So hopefully people do go out and listen more. I understand you're touring Europe this summer.
Yep.
What venues can people see you at, and kind of explain that and explain the show, what people can expect to see?
So I also do television in Italy and in Europe, and I love as kind of a lifestyle thing. The summer festivals in Europe are great. Play outdoors, you go to great places. So every year I pick 20, 30 dates, and I have a bluegrass band. We go out and do some folk, and we, you know, Switzerland, Italy, southern Germany, Croatia, Slovenia, those kind of places. We get a good public, and we go out and play. It's a lot of fun.
And MasterChef also returning at the end of May. The upcoming season is called MasterChef Generations. Can you give us any insight on what we can expect for that?
Yeah, season 14. It's like foodieism in America for the last 15 years, and taking it to generations is really interesting. You know, you have baby boomers, Gen Z, Gen X, millennials. It really kind of tells the story of like what the various age groups refer to in techniques and recipes and dishes they present. You have the younger folks that everything's digitized, telephone, you know, images are more sometimes more important than flavors. So it really is an expose on the generational differences and perspectives on food in America. It's amazing, and it's smart TV, which is really I'm proud to be a part of.
Yeah, we'll definitely be covering that at Gold Derby. And Jill, great to chat with you about Masked
Thanks
Singer.
so much.
It was so much fun to see you in a new light. So
Appreciate it.